I have one other horror story. This is from a Dove of War show at the Holly Inn.
Oh boy!
And
why is this the Holly Inn theme?
The Holly Inn was a great place to play when
All your craziest, worst stories are at the Holly Inn.
Yeah.
What happened with this? Now asking you about your craziest and or worst gig story. Would the craziest be the blood?
No, the craziest would not be the blood. Have you ever seen a Slipknot concert?
I've seen clips, especially of Joey.
Oh,
playing
Joey
drums.
Jordison.
Yeah, I've seen clips of that. You're playing drums just in 3D.
Right.
You know.
That's nuts.
Yeah.
Well, they have a song called Spit It Out.
Okay.
And during the song, there's a breakdown, and Corey Taylor gets the whole crowd to squat down. And to see like 100,000 people do this is epic. And then at one point in the song, he sings the bridge and yells, "Jump the fuck up." And then to watch 100,000 people all rise to their feet at once, again, it's epic.
Okay.
So when we were doing our Slipknot bit at the Champ, we actually got the crowd to do that. They all squatted down, and I yelled, "Jump up," and they all jumped up, and I'm like, all right, that was pretty badass.
Wow.
That was very cool. One of my worst live gig stories was at the Holly Inn with Echo Threefold.
Okay.
We did Rocky Mountain Way,
Mm-hmm.
and we were doing 2 sets that night, and this was toward the end of set 1. And the Rocky Mountain Way, English as a first language. The Rocky Mountain Way riff is that dun and dun and dun and dun dun, and then while the drums are like da-doom, da-da, da-doom, I would pound the bass to that rhythm.
Oh, this one.
So it was like dun and dun and dun and dun dun, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom.
Yeah.
So toward the end of the song, I come up to the high part of the neck, and I'm doing a solo, and I'm like, holy cow, that's really out of tune. What did I do? So the song ends, boom, and I reach up to retune and realize that the headstock of my 12-string bass, like the tuning pegs, were about 1.5 inches south of where they normally are. The headstock split from me beating the piss out of my bass, and I'm like, oh no. So I carefully retune, and for the rest of the show, I'm just like, do. Like I wasn't animated or abusing my bass at all.
Right.
And I stole the punching thing. I stole that from Michael Anthony of Van Halen. If you ever watch his bass solos,
yeah.
he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that looks cool. So I started punching my bass. Now there's a big difference between Michael Anthony and I. Michael Anthony is a multimillionaire that when he breaks his toys, he can go buy a new one, even the custom made stuff.
He probably already has 3 ready for him.
Yes. I, with my 112-string bass, would, exhaust the savings account and several credit cards to replace that. So I was like, hey, let's not do that anymore. But I was able to take it down to Woodshed Guitar Works in Carlisle, and Chris fixed it for me. Did a fantastic job. You can't see, like there's one small spot where you can see where you had to put the dowel in to cover the hole where he screwed the headstock back together. But the workmanship is second to none. Like he did a fantastic job, and I haven't punched the bass since.
Good to know.
Yeah, it's
Huge shout out to Chris at Woodshed,
yeah,
Carlisle,
big,
Pennsylvania.
Woodshed's amazing.
I'm not even getting paid for this, and he's fantastic. I'm telling you.
I'll
take all of mine there because he's great.
Yeah,
I have
and
a bridge, that one right behind you. The bridge came off of that guitar, and he glued it down and fixed it, and now I can beat the hell out of it. It's
nice.
Fine. Great work.
I have one other horror story. This is from a Dove of War show at the Holly Inn.
Oh boy!
And
why is this the Holly Inn theme?
The Holly Inn was a great place to play when
all your craziest, worst stories are at the Holly Inn.
Yeah.
What happened with this?
The Holly Inn was a great place when it was good. It was good. Like the very first time Dove of War ever played there, you couldn't fit another person in there with a shoehorn.
Right.
Toward the end of the Holly Inn's existence, you couldn't get somebody to go in there with a rifle. Like you couldn't convince them to go in. It just, because from what I understand, the reason why that kind of died off didn't really have a lot to do with the Holly Inn itself. It had to do with drunk driving laws being more intense. But God bless Doug. He liked to think that if we got through a song once at practice, it was ready for the stage. And they say, don't practice a song till you get it wrong. Or don't practice a song till you get it right. Practice it till you can't get it wrong. Well, we practiced it till we got it right. And then we opened our next show with it. And it was Carry On Wayward Son.
Woo.
And so we're going through the whole intro, the do 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 do, and we get to that bun dun 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 dun. Shit, I don't remember the words.
Oof.
And I'm just like, so I turn around and look at Doug and I say, dude, I don't remember the words.
Right.
So I don't know what we don't know what we're doing at that point. So rather than say to me, okay, let's go into song number 2, he just counts off song number 2, just ta, 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 which was Stone Cold Crazy. I'm like, and I'm standing there like looking at him like, what are you doing? He's like, and he stops. He's like, I figured we'd go into song number 2. I said, can you tell me that?
Right.
So that was the first and only time I've ever needed a mulligan for the opening of a show.
No kidding.
That was a little embarrassing because we tried to be better than that, and that day we just failed miserably.